The ultimate fishing experience is brought to you by Lund Boats. This week on The Ultimate Fishing Experience, it's all about fishing new water. Dropping your boat into a body of water you've never seen before can be both fun and challenging. Where to start? What to throw? With no previous knowledge of what the lake has to offer, breaking down fish location and the best presentation is a lot easier if you have the right tools.
I got one back there too.
Modern electronics with GPS mapping highlight potential fishing hotspots at a glance. Having loads of presentation options rigged and ready saves time in determining what fish are willing to bite.
It's a brown one. That's a pretty nice smallie.
Perhaps the most important tool of all is knowledge. Understanding seasonal fish movements helps narrow down the most productive locations. No one faces the challenges of quickly breaking down new water more than tournament anglers. So who better to hop in the boat with than tournament pro Jeff Gustafson and longtime friend Jason Palick.
Yeah, that's a buffalo. Yeah.
So it's time to pack the boat full of rods and tackle, power up the GPS, and hit the water confident that the next big bite is just around the corner.
I think we're gonna have fun today, man. Wow. New is good, right? I got my buddy Jason Pavlik along. We met up this morning. We're going bass fishing today on a new body of water. We got the new Lund Pro V bass boat, and I can't wait to get this thing in the water. So let's go for a rip. Over the course of the year, I fish a bunch of new bodies of water. I've been fishing the FLW tour for the last few years, so we show up at these new lakes and we get 3 days to practice, so you gotta try to put it together pretty quick, and that's what we're gonna do today. This particular lake that we're fishing has both largemouths and smallmouths. It's late summer, so we're, knowing the nature of the fish a little bit, we're thinking they're gonna be starting to pull out a little bit out of the shallow stuff. And then, it's important to have your boat set up good, have good electronics. We've got the Lake Master chip with us today, so it's going to help for breaking down the lake, and that's it. So we got a bunch of different baits tied on, and we're pretty much ready for anything. So it should be fun. I can't wait to get out there. We're going to go out to the mouth of this bay and hit a couple points first, and just kind of go from there, and hopefully we'll catch a fish or two pretty quick, and then those will tip you off in the right direction, and then you can start to formulate a pattern. And we're going to try some smallmouth stuff, some largemouth stuff, and from it's a fairly shallow lake, so we should run into both species kind of mixed together, but who knows, we'll sort of just see what happens, and I'm really excited, I can tell you that. Get her going. Okay, so you can see I've got a few rods on the deck. I got a bunch still in the locker, but just a little mishmash of everything. Like I said, we don't know exactly how we're gonna catch them today, but we have a pretty good idea. So we're gonna try a few different things. I got a crankbait, a tube, the stick worm. I got a little swim jig here. Got a football jig. I got a bait for flipping. In the locker, I got a frog. So we kind of got a bit of everything. Hopefully by the end of the day, there's only about 3 or 4 of them out. That means we figured something out, we got a good program, and we're catching them. So if there's all 20 rods I brought today are out on this deck at the end of the day, that's usually not a good sign. So we'll see what happens. There we go. Oh, little guy. Oh, he's not that little. Sweet. So that just came off that tree. That's shallow. We're only in about 3 feet of water right here, and that was pretty close to the bank, so nice largemouth. All right, well that's what it's all about, just checking out different things and seeing where these fish are at, so that's a good sign. I love flipping, and there could be more than one in there because I hit that thing didn't even make it to the bottom. I just saw my line jump. Yep, there's another one. That's a little better. Right off that same tree. Woo! Look at the belly on that thing. That is a pig. Cool. I think we're gonna have fun today, man. Wow.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mercury Marine, #1 on the water.
Pretty much bet $100 bill you're gonna rip some lips on that one.
When you pull up to a tree like this, you always want to hit the outside stuff first, because if there are a few fish on it, if you go, you know, not that I have a lot of choice here, there's a pike followed me out. But sometimes if you pitch in and you catch one, you know, back from the middle of the tree when you're pulling it out, a lot of times you'll sort of spook the other ones. Whereas if you just flip them up off the edge, you can sometimes catch a couple. Little guy. Think he's got some friends in there?
There's friends in there, just gotta find them.
Okay, we're going deep. This is where the 50-pound braid and the 8-foot flipping stick kind of comes in handy. I got one back there too, but it's not a big one. And you can see, this is a fairly heavy sinker I'm using. That's a 3/4 ounce tungsten sinker. So, I mean, it's fast, but it's nice for places like this because it's gonna get through the branches, it's gonna get through the weed clumps, and you're not having to fight with it to shake it through that stuff. And a lot of it, I mean, the fish is on before the bait even hits the bottom. It's totally a reaction. You drop that thing on them and it goes by really fast. And that's just part of the whole deal. All right, well, not that we're not gonna try some other techniques, but we've got a little something figured out on the, you know, pitching around some of the cover along the bank. So I'm sure we could drive around this entire lake today and catch as many bass as we want, you know, pitching at these docks and trees. So we'll probably hit a few more and then keep looking. All right, well, we just took a spin down the lake, and it is pretty windy today, so we're sort of trying to hide a little bit, but we're staying with the shallow water thing here. And you can see there's a number of deadheads out here, old logs, so flip around some of these. There's really nice coontail and cabbage as well out here, so let's see what we can get into. That one came off of that log right there. Oh, Jay's got one off the other log. There's a big one, buddy. Yeah, you better let me grab that one. Or you got him?
Nah, we got him.
Flip him.
We're gonna do a little flipping action. That's a little better one.
Yeah.
They're gonna start getting bigger here.
Yeah, that's a buffalo.
Yeah. Nice belly on that one.
Sweet.
Well, it feels pretty good there, buddy, to smash one out of the back of the boat after you've hit everything, but I'm sure you'll pay me back.
I think I was taking the inside there, and you just saw that log coming up on the outside. I won't let that happen again.
I think I bomb cast it a little bit further than I should have, just because I thought you missed that one.
When it comes to trolling motors, we basically have two different types. We got the power drive model, and we got the cable drive model, like this one right here that we're using today, the Fortrex. And you'll see the cable drive models a lot more with the bass guys. We're able to maneuver around a little bit more, be more nimble. It's quick. I can steer this thing without even looking at it. And then the power drive models, a lot more popular with the walleye guys. They have the spot lock function, And that allows us to, you know, camp out on those humps, sit in open water, and not have to stay on the motor the whole time. With the cable drive, you know, you got to stay on it, but I just like it because it's a little bit more nimble for, you know, bobbing and weaving in and out of things. You know, across bass country, flipping pitching is a technique that works pretty well everywhere, especially for largemouths. And, you know, a few things you want to keep in mind if you're going to get set up for doing it. You want a heavy rod. You know, I was using a Texas rig earlier with a big, heavy flipping hook in it, and then these jigs, they come with heavy hooks too. If you use a light rod, a medium action or medium heavy even, you really got to crack them or you're not going to set that hook in past the barb. So this is actually a 7-11 heavy action rod. It's stiff. I'm using 50-pound Power Pro braid, and I've got a 7-to-1 fast retrieve reel that, and that's what you want. When you're that close, you know, you could flip into something, those fish start going one way or the other. You want a fast reel to pick up that line, get them in the boat quick, get them out of the junk quick, and that's the setup you want right there. Oh man, that's a better one, buddy. Come here, you.
Good one.
Sweet. A little better.
Nice one.
We got a hot little corner here on the side of this rock. There's really nice coontail clumps down there with boulders mixed into them, and that's like 2 and 2 casts for me, so I should catch another one. We've been out here for a little while now, and we're sort of focused on largemouth fishing right here. You know, we've just sort of saw some things that look good on the shore, some trees and docks, and oh, Jason's got another one right now. Ooh, that's a big one, hey, bud?
That might be a good one. I didn't get a good look at him. Actually, it's a
big
brown
smallmouth.
one.
Wow, cool. That is a
That's
healthy
a pretty
smallmouth.
nice smallie. Come off a log. And flipping with this big giant stuff.
Yeah, that's what you want to hook them on.
You wouldn't think.
If you have that on the little, the 8-pound test, you're not getting them in that fast, that's for sure.
Yeah, beautiful, healthy fish. He's been packing on the meat there.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy, that just goes to show you that, you know, sometimes you can be out here flipping this coontail and these logs, and being that there's largemouth and smallmouth in this lake, you know, it's kind of a catch-22. You can kind of get whatever you want, and sometimes there's some in there, sometimes there's not, but I'm guessing if there's one smallmouth out there, there's probably going to be a few more in here when you're on the largemouth bite up there.
Yeah, you know, before you so rudely interrupted me with that big smallmouth, I was just about to say that we're primarily focused on catching largemouths right now, and mostly because we saw some stuff that looked good, and that's where we decided to start fishing, and we're catching fish and going with it. But driving up the lake, you can see a lot of really nice main lake points. There's some rock piles, and that's the stuff where I'm sure the smallmouths really are kind of loaded. So hopefully we can get to that eventually. But man, you keep catching them like that up in the shallow stuff, then we'll go with it. That's fine. If I was pre-fishing for a tournament right now, there we go. Ooh, came off a little bit of a snag. If I was pre-fishing for a tournament right now, I probably would be looking at more of that main lake stuff, just based on the time of year. It's warmer than it should be right now, and I'd probably be a little bit scared if we got, you know, any type of cold front or normal weather that came back in. It might kick these fish out of this I'm going to call it skinny stuff. So just something to keep in mind if you are a tournament fisherman. You know, you should know if it's fall and you're catching them all really shallow, those fish can get spooked out of there pretty quick if you get a temperature change. So it's always good to, you know, have some deeper stuff as a backup. You know, I gotta say, after spending half a day fishing out of this 1875 Pro V bass, really impressed. We got a huge casting deck in the front, big deck in the back, tons of storage for tackle, 15 rods in the rod locker. It's gonna come in 2 different models. We got the bench seat model, which is gonna be more like your traditional bass boat. Today we're in the pedestal seat model. This might be a little better for, you know, for people that are guiding or bringing 3 or 4 other people in the boat with them. Because we've got the pop-up seats in the back. All in all, runs good in the big water. I'm really happy with it. Okay, I think it's time to change things up and see if we can go catch a smallmouth. Man, that Mercury Verado is a sweet engine. It's running right now, you can hardly hear it. Here are a few things you can do to keep it purring like a kitten. With 4-stroke outboards, it's recommended to change the engine oil every 100 hours or yearly, whatever comes first. With all outboards, the lower unit lubrication should be changed out when it's time to put it away for the winter. It also pays to remove your prop occasionally, check for any fishing line, and add marine grease to the spline before placing the prop back on. Inspect your fuel filter, cleaning or replacing it as necessary. Fuel maintenance can be just as important. Mercury has made this easy with 3 different additives you can use for year-long applications. There's Quick Care, which is added to every fill-up to help with some of the adverse effects of ethanol-blended fuels. Quick Lean, to be used as needed to remove carbon deposits within your engine, and Quick Store, which is added to your fuel before long-term storage. It helps fuels from breaking down and oxidizing in your tank. A little bit of preventative maintenance can protect your investment and your precious time in the long run. Okay, you might wonder why we left the calm, shallow water. We were catching lots of largemouths. But that's just, you know, if you have that tournament mentality, or I just love to always explore new things, and we're on a new lake here. We're out on the main lake now, and as it's not super big water, but it's windy, so it's roughing it up pretty good, and we're just on a little hump here, and really good looking smallmouth deal for this time of year for sure. Oh, I'm just holding it perfect for Jason back there, and he's probably gonna put a clinic on for me, but that's all good. That was a big one, hey?
Yeah.
Did it break your line?
Broke my line.
There we go, I got hit twice there. Big smallie. Throw her back in there, Jay, because I just got, I got crushed right before that once too. Whoa, that's a beauty, man. If that's not one extreme to the other, I'm gonna get this guy off. I was on a swim bait, throw him back and get back in the water. But it is rough out here, man. I got the trolling motor on 80 and I'm not getting off of it, and we're just barely kind of holding. Oh man, that's a better one, buddy. Oh, yeah.
Nice one, the dandy.
Whoa!
Nice donkey.
That one I think I'm gonna grab. Sweet. I'm totally not using this thing on the right rod. I should have it on a bait caster with some fairly heavy line, but that's what they're eating minnows. There you go. That's awesome. That's a big beauty. These swim baits are a good search bait for smallmouths, especially in these kind of conditions. You know, I love to use a jerk bait, but it's so windy out here, and the fish seem to be in like 8 to 12 feet of water, so that jerk bait's not quite getting down to them. So that's something that can get down to them. I can cover some ground with it. And normally I would probably just throw a tube back in there, but they seem to be liking this thing, so I'm gonna keep throwing it. I got it rigged up on a bait caster now, which is a little bit better. That's a fairly stout hook, so I want the heavier rod. And that's 12 or 14 pound fluorocarbon. And that's the deal, man. Oh, the kid's got one. Bass?
I don't know, I got a late rod here, boys, so. Kind of
Something big anyways,
feeling pike-ish to me.
Oh, jumper. It's a bass.
That's a brown one.
Big beauty too.
I got a real light rod here, so I don't want to force them too hard.
What'd you get that one on?
That was on a fluke again, just a lighter jig head.
Nice smallie.
There's a good one, Gussy.
Awesome.
Nice little fat one.
Little one. That's a big beauty. Hey man, been a fun day. New water is always fun to fish. It's fun to explore. We all have our favorite lakes that that we fish, you know, that are close to home and stuff. But you get the chance to fish some different places. It's always a good time.
I had a great time, but I appreciate you having me, and I'd like to do it again sometime.
Sounds good. Well, we're gonna wrap this up, and me and you are probably gonna stick around here and catch a couple more.
Oh, we have to.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like more information, check out lundboats.com or these other online outlets.